Hi, this is People, Places, Things, and in History. This is Carol Churchka Gardner coming with you with a brand new one. We're going to talk about powwows. Okay, the different style of dancing, and I'm going to tell you why and how come. Alright, the first ones would be actually the traditional men's dancing. Okay, so back in the day, we did not have, where we would go to, an army camp. So, in a way, some of these dancers will actually dance like they are in an actual army. These are called warrior dances. Okay, so your warrior dancers are usually, very, very, I would say camouflagey, but not like the camouflage you guys would have. Alright, it's usually brown or some other colors, and it usually has to do with actually blending in with certain things. And the dance styles that they do is usually a warrior style dance. You'll see them out there. They're actually a little bit flashy. They don't they'll go down and they'll holler and they'll scream and they'll use whatever, in case they have weapons, they actually use their dance sticks as weapons, okay? And sometimes you'll actually see them shoot. They actually, most of them has a bustle. Some will wear different headdresses. Some might not have enough money for a headdress. And a lot of times, they're actually pretty good at trying to scare you. Okay, and the next one is usually a straight dancer. A straight dancer actually is one that doesn't do flashy stuff. They actually move in a certain corrugated way that would not be what the other dancers do. These guys will walk in, they'll have a plain step. Now, they actually do a plain step. They don't do a fancy step. They won't do hooping and hollering. They will sometimes use their weapons or their feathers, but not very often. These guys are called straight dancers. They usually have headdresses and like the regular traditional, but you could ask anybody, they'll tell you what they really are doing. Alright, the next one is actually grass dancers. Grass dancers were back in the day when you had your camp started and you had long grass, guys. And nobody would come in and mow the lawn, so these guys were very important. They would smush down the grass, and then people were actually watching how these people would mush down the grass. So then they actually have what they call grass dancers. These are people who would be there to mush down the grass, and they made a dance out of it. Usually they have actually yarn, and they actually have ribbon hanging from their yoke and their what I would call a skirt, but it's not like a skirt you think of. But they actually have a certain way. They usually have a roach on. They won't have anything else on. It's porcupine roach. And they actually dance the way to flatten the grass. And they just they're in between a fancy dancer and they're in between a regular traditional dancer. Okay, and another one is this was a traditional one, guys. There's ones actually, they're called chicken dancers. They actually, back in the day, the Plains Indians would watch the prairie chickens as they mated. So a lot of them are crow dancers. They dance a little bit flashy, but they'll actually dance offbeat, most of these. So if they dance offbeat, it is usually a crow dancer. Crows dance people do not like to go on beat. That was their thing. They go offbeat. They're easier to spot. They won't have leggings. But they'll have a strip of cloth with usually tied around their legs in certain places. And they have bells all the way down. These guys usually are wear maybe a top, like a ribbon shirt or something like that. They're usually easier to spot. They actually are in between the traditional dancer and the both traditional dancers, the one that's the warrior style and the one that's the straight style. They'll be in between guys. The next one is actually the women's style. The women traditional women usually has maybe a feather in her hair, beadwork or whatever, or she might wear a crown depending on where they're from. They usually wear either leather or you'll see there's different ones that they'll call on. The leather ones are usually the more traditional, then they'll have the women's cloth dancers. Okay, so these guys would make their dresses. A lot of them has beadwork on it, on the actual dress, and there's usually ribbon on it. And depending on if it's cloth, sometimes they'll have, like, even on the other ones, they can have teeth, they could have shells, they can have a lot of things that these girls try to fancy it up. Some of them even has fringe on theirs. So if you look, they usually have fringe all the way, like, so far down. And actually, they wear a woman's traditional belt that usually has different pouches. There's a striker-like pouch. There's the one where your umbilical cord is. There's one for, like, doing different things. So each one of them, you might even see, if you're lucky, the all-in-a-knife pouch on them. And there's like a utility pouch on. Yeah, I forget what it was for, guys, so I'm sorry. But actually you'll notice she'll have a shawl, and the shawl will have fringe on it. That's usually on your left arm, and they'll have their fan, and that's usually in your right hand. No matter what kind, you like the other dancers, you might not have all of it, but you try to get what you can. A lot of them wears moccasins, but some people can't afford moccasins, so they'll wear canvas sneakers anymore. And they'll try to either fancy them up some way. The next one is women's smoke dancers. Women's smoke dancers has been around, and even they'll have men's smoke dancers. These guys were around years and years. These are before even the settlers come. These are actually like upstate New York. And a lot of the people actually in certain states, even Jersey, they might wear it in PA. Depending on which style they like, these people actually wear different outfits than anybody else. The women usually wears a long dress with another short skirt underneath it. And yes, they also wear moccasins and leggings, which I forgot everybody wears leggings in traditional dancing. And they actually wear a yoke, and they have some, as you see, cuffs. These are actually the smoke dancers. They wear a plume in their hair. They'll be the only ones that will dance real fast and a slow kind of beat, but they actually don't go really fast. They go like the traditional women, and they'll jump up. This is called the smoke dance. They'll even do it in the men's. The men's will kind of almost look like almost the chicken dancers, but they're a little bit different. They'll have a skull on their head. They actually, when they have a warrior's dance, they usually have a ribbon shirt and they'll have leggings, and they'll have actually bells around them. When they get to the one point, they'll jump up just like the women. These are actually specialty dancers, guys. Only certain ones know how to do the old-time style of dancing. Another one is the women's jingle dress. The jingle dress always came from the tin combs is off the snuff jars that they used to wear. They actually made combs, and they would put it all over their dresses. This is a medicine dance. This is the one that you would actually go into and actually see the women actually dance a certain way, and they only have pretty well fan. Some might have a pocketbook, some might not. Some might just have certain things in their hands. These girls will actually, you can hear the jingle all over no matter where they go. These are certain ones of the traditional dancers. I can't get to the other ones. I have to make another one for especially the fancy dancers. And guys, I'm going over, so I'll see you. Have a great day. Hit a like, hit a comment. Make sure you actually tell me what you want to see. Thumbs up. Make sure you hit the like if you like this one. Okay, guys? I'd love to bring these to you, but I'm getting kind of depressed because I don't see a lot of likes and I don't like to see a lot of comments or shares. Okay, guys? I'd like to see this one go viral. Thank you. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button. You'll see all of them I did. So far, guys, this is 13 or 14.